Eric Habu, the Dean of Students, Uganda Pentecostal University, and I'm in charge of students' welfare. And for today's matter on students or student mothers or mother students, we have students who either come when they're already mothers, or others who are students but later on they conceive and produce children. Now, in these instances, what we normally do as my office, we have to liaise with them, and sometimes we have challenges whereby, for example, they become expectant time for exams, which means time for exams basing on the seats we have, the stools and the seats. Then we have to create for them a good environment basing on their postures. Two, also sometimes you may find that they have just given birth and the kids are really young. So most of the time, either if they insist they want to do exams, we can give them a different room and they do the exams from there. At the extreme, you may find that they are in the hospital and they still want to do the exam. Then maybe we can allocate an invigilator to supervise them as they do the exams in the hospital. But that is at the extreme. But most of the time, when we are here and they are comfortable doing the exam from here, we'll just give them a room and they do their exams when their children or their child is nearby. Also, sometimes we allow them to have a caregiver, the ones we normally call a helper, who can also be around when they are doing exam. There are many challenges that come along. You know, we are grown-ups and we don't stop anyone to have their relationships around. So sometimes you may find there are students whereby, by the fact that they are having a relationship, they conceive, and once they conceive, they look back at home. How do the parents react to this? They have education, they're being entrusted at school, but now already they're pregnant. We've dealt with those cases, but it's an in-school thing that we do, that we try to reach out to the parents and explain to them as much as their child their children or their child has already conceived. It's not the end of the education. They can still ask for a day year, or they can still continue studying as they raise the kid. So most of the time they can opt for weekend classes, so that during the week, because remember during the week, the whole week is vigorous, so they can do it on the weekend. They can study weekend and have maybe a friend who is a day scholar and take care of the child. So these are the challenges sometimes we have. At times also may find the child is sick, they're supposed to do exams. Now when they come to me, and most of them are free to come to my office, and they do come, I always follow up. Maybe if they have missed a lecture or a test, then we can approach the relevant deans and we explain to them, and they can be excused or be pardoned or be given a supplementary test when they do that paper. So it's a need basis, and we do reach out and listen to them at that time. What we normally do, we always have orientation, and we always advise them. Once they've stepped here before they start classes, we always have orientation, and we tell them the whole basis about this, because their most important agenda and purpose, which is very paramount, is one, education. So these are the things that will come in. These are worldly things, and they will come in later. So they should study first. The issue of having a family will come later, because it will be so hard for them to balance education and still being a mother. And most of the time you find people who are responsible, who are as men. For us, we'll have our time, because you have to take care of the child, you have to cook for the child, you have to breastfeed the child. But for the man, will only be there maybe for a few hours or minutes even. So our advice always, when they step here, and my advice still insists and still will be, when you come, have that agenda of coming to study and not having a family. So there are so many ways of what they can prevent or not to be a mother as per now, and rather study, and later on maybe they can plan for the kids.